Time is approximately 6:04 p.m. And March 12th, 2026, Farragut Board Mayor and Aldermen meeting will now begin. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and online. I want to thank you for your presence at tonight's Board Mayor and Aldermen meeting. My name is Ron Williams, the fourth elected mayor, town of Farragut. We appreciate that each of you has taken your time from your busy schedules to either attend or view tonight's meeting to see how our town government works. All Farragut Board Mayor and Aldermen meetings are public notice per Tennessee state law. All board meeting minutes are taken and will be available at a later date. Each meeting will be recorded and can be viewed at a later date on YouTube. If you're in attendance, you should be able to pick up a copy of tonight's agenda at the door when you came in. If you're not able to attend tonight's meeting and are viewing from home, then the agenda is available online at our website. For those in attendance that would like to speak, please pick up a blue card at the door and write your name and the agenda number you wish to comment on and turn it in to the town recorder. There will also be a time reserved near the end of the meeting for citizen comments on non-agenda subjects, which also requires that you fill out a blue card and citizen comments as the time you wish to speak. On each agenda item, the mayor will ask the town recorder for the residents' input. During this time, any Farragut resident wishing to speak to the board on that specific agenda item may do so for up to 3 minutes. After being recognized by the mayor, please go to the podium microphone in front in order to be heard and viewed by all. To conduct efficient business-like meetings, the town has adopted rules on how meetings will be conducted. Primarily, these rules are designed to keep the meeting moving and assure that all points of view are heard and considered, and to provide common courtesy to everyone. We ask that you observe the established meeting rules when addressing the board. At the beginning of your presentation, please state your name and address for the record. We ask that you address all your questions to the mayor in his absence, the vice mayor to my right. Do not direct questions to the alderman or the staff members. If necessary, the mayor may call on an alderman or a staff member concerning your question or comments. Once you've given your input, please return to your seats so that we continue with our meeting. We ask that every speaker avoid the use of improper language, profanity, or other inappropriate conduct. Address agenda issues and not individuals or personalities with negative comments. Speakers should strive to avoid redundancy and should have their own original viewpoints. We ask that you stay on topic on each agenda item. Okay, we'll start tonight's meeting with a roll call by our town recorder for a quorum.
Alderman LaCroix.
Here.
Vice Mayor Meyer.
Here.
Alderman Burnett.
Here.
Alderman Kane.
Here.
Mayor Williams.
Mayor Williams here. We do have a quorum. Now, please join me by standing in a moment of silence in honor of our veterans, and I ask that the scouts please come down front to lead us in the pledge to our country's flag. Okay, thanks a lot, guys, gals. Okay, next will be approval of the agenda. Do we have any agenda amendments?
No, sir.
None?
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, that would be Scott and Drew.
Take it a little bit slow here. Hold on. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, if in favor of approval, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Any noes? Let the record show the March 12th, 2026 agenda has been approved as posted. Okay, next will be approval of February 26th, 2026 workshop minutes. Do we have any changes?
No, sir.
None? Then I need a motion.
To approve. Second.
Okay, me, Drew, Scott. Okay. I'm sorry, I'll slow down, Marco. Okay, if in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes, let the record show the February 26, 2026 workshop minutes are approved as posted. Okay, next will be approval of the February 26, 2026 meeting minutes. Do we have any amendments to our minutes?
No, sir, we do not.
Second.
Okay, that would be Alex and Drew. Okay, if in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Okay, did you get that? Okay. Any noes? Let the record show the minutes have been approved as posted. Okay, next, mayor's report. First thing I need to do is to appoint David Smoke, our town administrator, as the town recorder. In absence of the previous town recorder, Dave will be filling in until we have another town recorder. So the paperwork's already been signed. And, we're ready to go. Okay, next will be an Arbor Day proclamation that will be read tonight by Alderman Burnett.
Thank you, Mayor. So, whereas in 1872, the Nebraska Board of Agriculture established a special day to set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and in the world, and whereas trees can be a solution to combating climate change by reducing the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderating the temperature, cleaning the air, producing life-giving oxygen, and providing habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our own town increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas on February 9th, 2024, the town of Farragut was initially named a Tree City USA. And whereas to fulfill the town's obligations as a Tree City USA, a number of events to celebrate Arbor Day have been scheduled for 2026. And whereas one of the events will be the town partnering with the Farragut Intermediate School and third graders being asked to submit an essay on the benefits of trees, and some of those essays will be displayed at the Farragut Town Hall Rotunda from March 16th through the 20th. And whereas on March 20th, the town will facilitate a joint event with the Farragut Intermediate School and the Division of Forestry to recognize the numerous benefits derived from trees with a presentation to third graders from the State of Tennessee Urban and Community Forestry Division. And whereas, in conjunction with the Tennessee Environmental Council, the town will be conducting a tree distribution at McPhee Park on March 21st and planting 50 seedlings in designated public spaces. Now therefore, the Mayor, Ron Williams, and the Board of Mayor and Aldermen do hereby proclaim, consistent with the State of Tennessee Arbor Day recognition, Friday, March 20th, 2026, as Arbor Day in the town of Farragut, and I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands, and I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations.
Okay, thank you. And just a reminder, what Drew mentioned there was the event that we're going to have at McPhee Park. It will be on the 21st. That's from 9 to 12. If you have any questions, please see Mark Shipley for any details. Okay, next will be Alderman reports. Alderman Burnett.
I don't have anything, Mayor. Thanks.
Alderman Kane.
If you did see the newspaper, the Farragut Admirals basketball team is in the state playoffs for the first time in 53 years.
It's pretty phenomenal. Okay. Alderman LaCroix. Alderman Meyer.
Pass.
We'll move on to our ordinance. Tonight, we do have one. That'd be ordinance number 2606, request for approval on the first reading, an ordinance to amend the Farragut Code of Ordinances, Chapter 111, Stormwater Management Control, Section 111-7, Design Standards for Detention and Retention Ponds, to remove the requirement for stormwater retention in the lower portion of the watershed where engineering documentation can demonstrate that this would have a positive effort in overall stormwater management due to timing of stormwater runoff.
Good evening. As the mayor said, this is an amendment to our stormwater ordinance by adding language to section 111-7, language that would allow developments in the lower portions of the watersheds in the town to do so, to develop without detention requirements. The reason for that is the timing of the peak discharge of stormwater runoff from the main channel, the main drainage way, will come through usually quite a bit after the peak discharge is already released from the site. So this is something that Planning Commission unanimously approved, Resolution PC 26-01, which was in favor of Ordinance 2606. So staff recommendation is approval of Ordinance 2606 on first reading.
Second.
Okay, we have any rest comments, David?
I did not receive any, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Discussion, we'll start off Alderman Burnett.
I don't have any questions, Mayor.
Alderman Kane,
None.
Alderman LaCroy,
No questions.
Vice Mayor. I have nothing as well. Discussion closed. I'll ask Town Recorder for a roll call vote, please.
Alderman LaCroy,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Meyer,
Yes.
Alderman Burnett,
Yes.
Alderman Kane,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Mayor Williams, yes. Let the record show that ordinance 26-06 has been approved on the first reading by a 5-0 roll call vote on March 12, 2026 at approximately 6:16 p.m. Thank you, Darrell. Okay, next will be resolutions. Looks like we do have two to review and consider for approval tonight. Approval of R 2026-05 to amend the Town of Farragut surplus property policy.
Good evening. I'm Tessa Cortez, Finance Director. Our 2024-22 was passed to approve the Town of Farragut surplus property policy. The policy serves in the public interest for the Town of Farragut to periodically sell or dispose of certain machinery, equipment, or materials. By its nature of its obsolescence, low value, or disrepair has been determined by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen to be surplus to the realistic and foreseeable needs to the town. This resolution establishes a uniform policy which provides that obsolete and unneeded property will be offered for sale to the general public in an open, transparent, and cost-effective manner. The resolution needs to be amended to reflect the Finance Director's responsibility as a result of the separation of roles. The proposed motion is to approve this resolution 2026-05.
Okay, Scott and Alex. Okay, do we have any resting comments on this?
No, sir.
We do not? Okay. Discussion, Alderman Burnett,
No questions.
Alderman Kane,
None.
Alderman LaCroy.
I have none.
Okay, I don't have anything as well. It's pretty straightforward. I ask if in favor, vote by saying yes.
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 Okay. Let the record show resolution R 2026-05 has been approved as requested. Okay, next will be approval of R 2026-06, declaring certain town property to be surplus property.
The surplus property sale and disposal policy requires the Finance Director to submit to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen a list of all surplus property for approval. We have a list of items that meet this criteria for surplus items. The town will be advertising the items on govdeals.com, an online government surplus auction site. The resolution approval will allow for the removal of the items from the fixed asset list and advertise the sale of the items. The items with a value of $2,000 or less will be donated or scrapped. The proposed motion is to approve this resolution declaring these list of items to be surplus property.
Okay, Scott, Alex? Any resident comments on this one, David?
No, sir, but I would make one other addition to that, is that all the proceeds that we do get from this will go directly back into the equipment replacement fund, so that'll help that fund out in the future.
Okay, good program. Okay, discussion, start Alderman Burnett,
No questions.
Alderman Kane,
None.
Alderman LaCroy,
I have no questions.
Vice Mayor.
Pass.
I have nothing as well. I'll ask if in favor, vote by saying yes. Yes. Okay, noes. Let the record show resolution R 2026-6 has been approved as requested. Thank you, Tessa. Okay, next we'll have business items. There's only one to consider for approval tonight, and that's approval of handheld radios through NASPO cooperative pricing.
Good evening, Mayor, Aldermen, staff, and guests. My name is Will Wiley, Director of Public Works, here to speak on item 6A for the board's consideration. The purpose of this agenda item is to approve the purchase of 13 handheld radios for Public Works through the National Association of State Procurement Officials, otherwise known as NASPO, cooperative purchasing. Staff used the National Association of State Procurement Officials cooperative purchasing to obtain pricing of 13 handheld radios for the Public Works Department. This equipment will increase the Public Works team's ability to quickly communicate during emergency operations, normal operations, and special events such as the 4th of July parade. This equipment is included in the information technology budget in the amount of $35,000. NASPO is an approved procurement method that leverages pre-qualified competitive bids. On February 23rd, 26th, the Public Works Department received a quote from Metro Communications LLC for 13 handheld radios with accessories totaling $34,780.08, coming $219.92 under budget. Staff recommends approval, and I am available for any questions.
Okay, thank you, Will. Anybody have any questions for Will? If not, we'll move on to a motion.
Move to approve.
Looks like Drew and Alan, or no, Joe. Okay, any resident comments on this one?
No, sir.
None? Okay. Discussion, Alderman Burnett,
No questions, thanks.
Alderman Kane.
Will, just one question. I see that the radios you're buying are trunking. Will they be compatible in, say, a natural disaster emergency with Knox County? Will they be able to tie in?
Yes, these will be encrypted as our current radios are, and these will work with our current radios and truncated and encrypted, and that's all included in the price.
Okay, thank you, Will. Alderman LaCroy.
No questions.
Vice Mayor.
Pass.
I have nothing as well, except to say that we really do have to have these when we have our first responders out there on the road trying to communicate with each other, so it's good to have them. Okay, discussion closed. I'll ask if in favor, please vote by saying yes. Yes. Any noes? Let the record show the request has been approved. Okay, next will be citizen comments.
Mayor,
Oh,
may I?
yes. You want to do that before or after?
Whenever you want, I'd just
Go,
like to.
go now. Have at it.
All right. Earlier in these past 2 weeks, I met with some residents in one of the South Ward neighborhoods. And they had, and I apologize to Mark, I should have warned Mark that I was bringing this up. Sorry, buddy. But the residents were concerned they have a property in their neighborhood that is causing a nuisance. And when they brought the complaint to the town, town staff did a great job going out, looking at what the issues were, going through our ordinance and determining that our ordinance while may or may not cover this particular instance. And basically what it is it's a residential, it's a home that is serving as, in maybe some cases, a rooming house or a boarding house. But the way our ordinances address it, we couldn't take action to alleviate some of the nuisance for the residents around this house. This isn't an isolated incident. I know that there are other neighborhoods out there. Inverness, my neighborhood, and Concord Hills has also experienced these same types of nuisances where we would come to the board and, or not to the board, I'm sorry, but come to staff, and staff was bound by the way that our ordinance addressed these issues. So what I would like the board to do is to send this back to Mark, staff, and the planning commission to go through our zoning ordinance and maybe address this issue. And once again, I'm sorry, Mark, I might throw you under the bus. He probably has more specific information on that, and we could probably ask a resident to stand up and discuss this as well. But tonight, I would like to ask the board to send this issue back to staff and the Municipal Planning Commission to address the ordinances, the zoning ordinances for this residential issue.
Mayor, if it's okay, I'll just add that I've encountered
Go
the
ahead.
same thing, thank you, with, in Kingsgate. No HOA, didn't know what to do, came to me, and we couldn't do anything with it at the time. So if we could send that back to staff, I think that would be great.
Well, it is a common problem. And it even happens in neighborhoods that has HOAs. It's just a lot of times it's over and above what the HOA can adjudicate. So we do need to look at this, and that's my thought. And I'll go ahead and let the Vice Mayor and Alderman Kane speak on it as well.
I'm fine looking into it. We can push it to staff, that's fine.
Alderman Kane?
Yeah, I think it should go forward to staff.
Okay, thank you. I think that's pretty unanimous.
Can I ask one clarifying question? Just want to make sure. I just want to make sure that when we get this back and start looking at it, the intent is that we do regulate that we do something to regulate that type of activity in residential neighborhoods.
Yeah, I think when you say nuisance, that's such a broad statement that it's very far-reaching, and it don't really specify a lot. But in this case, I think it does, and Tom will have to weigh in on some of this, so if we don't mind, okay? Thank you.
Yeah, and I know that Mark has a lot more information on it. I've sat down with him, and once again, I apologize. I should have told him that I was coming to the board to ask you guys to push it back to him and give him more work on his plate. But he's very familiar with this, and whether there's an outcome, he'll have to, I'm sure he'll have to work with the attorney on it. I don't know, so.
Okay, thank you, Alderman LaCroix. Okay, next, without any else citizen comments, do we have anyone signed up?
No, sir, we do not.
We do not. Then I'll move on to the town administrator's report. Go ahead, David.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple weeks ago, it may have been longer than that, we received a audit from the State Fire Marshal's Office. And they come periodically every few years to look at our code enforcement division, building codes specifically. And they usually look at a commercial piece of property, one that's being built, looking at the construction plans, the drawings, all the things. They go on site, they review the building itself for compliance with our codes and regulations, and our team passed with flying colors. So Carl Schwersko, our building official, Charles Wilson, our fire inspector, Mark and his team did a great job in working with the state on that, and also obviously passing, and they came out with a glowing remark. So I just appreciate Mark, his staff, and team at the code enforcement for doing such a great job on that. And that is all I have to report tonight, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, David. Next will be our town attorney's report.
Let me comment just a minute on the issue that was just addressed. We have a number of situations in the town, and have had over time, where people are operating non-traditional family residential properties the biggest problem we have is we don't have any evidence to support what they're doing. Generally, and you can't just walk in and go into their property. We've looked at a number of different things. We're trying to come up with some ways to deal with it. Normally, the people that are doing this don't respond well to being requested to follow the rules. They're going to do what they're going to do, and it's left to us to take action to devote staff time and to develop proof in order to be able to prove that they have committed a violation. Technically, operating a boarding house is not a permitted use in residential zone. So if we know that they're doing that and we can prove it, then you can take action. Taking action, however, sounds simple to non-lawyers, but to lawyers, making people do things that they're supposed to do that they don't want to do and are not going to do unless you go get a court order, sometimes they can just make life pretty miserable. So we've developed, I think we've got about 3 situations right now that we're looking at in this, now that I know about this one, that we're looking at how to go about dealing with it. And it is not a simple problem. We don't have a police force. We don't have a team of investigators to go out and develop the proof. Luckily, in a couple of these cases, we've had people come forward who have some evidence that they are willing to offer that might help us get at least one of these situations resolved. But it's not something we're not looking at. The state of Tennessee statutes don't give us a whole lot of, and that's of course what we're bound by. We can't do more than state law lets us do. So the statutes are not just the greatest. While nuisance, we're in the middle of a nuisance case now that we're about to get the result for. And a nuisance, while it's a broad category, courts can determine whether something is a public nuisance. And if it's bad enough, then they will act. I'm not sure that a court in this town would say that having multiple people living in one residence is a nuisance. There has to be more. There has to be activities going on that are harmful and disrupt interfere with the neighbor's use of their property. So just so you know, it is being worked on, but it's usually bounded by the fact that we don't have really good, hard evidence that, people like to come and say, yeah, I know this is going on. Well, how do you know it's going on? Well, I've been told it's going on. Well, that's called hearsay. You can't introduce that in a court of law. You have to have actual proof to accomplish some of these things. So that's just a little report on how sometimes these things sound pretty simple, but they're actually, getting the result is not always so simple. And other than that, I don't have anything to report.
Okay, Tom, thank you. Okay, the time is approximately 6:32 p.m. Without objection. Without objection, March 12, 2020.